Imagine this. You've been diagnosed with a life-threatening disease. You've had surgery, and during recovery, you start to think about what is really important to you and how you want to spend your time. That's where the bucket list comes in, right? There's also another list going on simultaneously in your head where you replace the B in bucket with an F. You get the idea, but that's another story. So right there at the top of your list is the desire to design and build something that will bring the world beauty and joy. That was me several years ago, and check it out, I'm still standing. And I get to share with you, thank you, I'm really happy about standing. I get to share with you a life-changing epiphany that really affected both my personal life and my professional life. So at that time, I roped in a couple of really dear friends and colleagues, Susan Fry and Bree Parker-Simons, and we entered a design competition for the Chaumont-sur-Loire International Garden Festival that takes place each year in France's stunning Loire Valley. Isn't it like a fairy tale? If you are chosen, and there are hundreds of entries each year, you get to build your garden and have over 4,000 people a day visit it for a 6-month period. It's temporary. That year, the theme for the festival was Gardens of Delirium, Gardens of Delight. How perfect. Our garden included the classic fairy tale elements: a garden wall, a wooden path, a reflecting pond, a forest, a throne, and a pack of foxes. Our idea was to provide the visitor with the pieces and then let them construct their own fairy tale while in the garden. We won, and we got to go to France. We jumped on a plane with our super handy husbands and a great friend to build foxes in the garden. We transformed this into this in 10 days. And at that point, I realized that even temporary installations can make a big impact. The design also responded to our political times. So Occupy Wall Street was in full force, and the phrase "foxes in the hen house" inundated the media, hence the foxes. We saw the forest as citizens standing together in solidarity. The throne was not meant for one all-powerful person, but was open to anyone. And the camouflage netting we used to cover the walls, we transformed from a material of war into an aromatic vertical garden. So yes, we chose delirium and delight and a political statement. When I got back to Albuquerque, I saw the city through a whole new lens, and I imagined what I could do to activate public space through designing temporary installations. I took on a really desolate median strip by my house and a couple of great friends, comrades, and we installed a pack of 25 foxes and stood back, and we watched the car headlights transform them into dancing shadow puppets along an adjacent wall. Looking back, I'm sure it was an illegal act, but when you're battling cancer, being arrested, just like it isn't even on your radar. And anyway, it was an act of love. A short-lived act, because the foxes mysteriously disappeared within 24 hours. Next, I worked with women in design, a couple of stellar students, and our fabulous fabrications lab manager, to design an installation for Women in Creativity Month at the Harwood Arts Center. We wanted to take something associated with the domestic, so we chose the table, amplified it, and brought it out street side to promote eating together and conversation. The table and the donated chairs, which we painted, offered a burst of color to the dormant landscape. It was an open invitation just to sit and socialize. It was the exact opposite of a no loitering sign. The table then moved to Civic Plaza for a month and then back to Harwood because they loved it. And it's waiting for me, a new layer of paint and some more screws. But the point is that this simple design brought over 30 women together and 5 organizations. So my growing interest in these types of projects spurred me to formally bring the idea of temporary installations into a Masters of Landscape Architecture design studio. We started with Parking Day. The time lapse you see rolling up there by Mike Pace is a transformation of a metered parking space into a pop-up park. Parking Day started in 2005 by the firm Rebar in San Francisco and has since become an international event. The idea is to give precious green space back to pedestrians that has been compromised by the dominance of the automobile in today's cities. We used recycled paper tubes, filled them with xeric plants to create a growing table, and above hung an icicle chandelier molded from recycled water bottles, giving the plants below water, a visible drip irrigation system. It also added a playful element to the design, and it drew attention to the scarcity and the preciousness of water in the high desert. Here we partnered with Deep Space Coffee and brought their patio out onto the street. And for this one, we set up right outside of 516 Arts and just riffed off of their current exhibition, which was called Cross-Pollination. We made a parklet for people and for our threatened pollinators. And I think we got over 100 visitors that day and a whole lot of bees. So this semester, I'm teaching my dream class called Ephemeral Landscapes for Social and Environmental Change. And I use the word ephemeral in lieu of temporary because ephemeral has an element of magic to it that temporary does not. And anyway, these pieces, they live on in our memories, in the connections we make, and in social media. So we're nearing the end of our inaugural semester, and my amazing students have done some great projects. Caged is a 6 by 9 by 7.5 abstract death row prison cell. We partnered with the Lobo Reading Experience and responded directly to the book Just Mercy. Cage refers to the physical confinement of the prison cell and also to the systematic circumstances that have perpetuated mass incarceration in the United States. Do you know that 1 in every 3 African American males will be incarcerated in their lifetime? Here we use design as a form of education and activism. At the Harwood Arts Center stands a really majestic Siberian elm tree, and in it hang 239 flickering upside-down LED lights. It creates a really ethereal and magical night entrance to the building, but the number, 239, refers to the number of mass shootings since Sandy Hook. School shootings, pardon me, since Sandy Hook. This is not the number of people that have been shot. This is the number of shooting events. Travis Tabbitt, my fabulous student, didn't have enough money to buy lights for that number. So here, this installation gives an abstract and little-known number visibility. Wayfinding, now under construction at the Harwood. You probably picked this up. We really love the Harwood. Is an 80-foot-long abstract border. It's filled with LED lights and stones marked with compasses. At night, the piece will glow, and the light will increase as the stones find their way into the pockets of visitors. This is a really beautiful statement about us coming together at the border instead of being separated and interrogated, and about offering help and guidance to our fellow citizens of one planet. All of these installations are ephemeral, and so are we. So my motto while on this planet is to make it powerful, make it beautiful, and have a damn good time doing it. My students, who I absolutely adore, my friends, my colleagues, my family, local organizations, a little bit of money, passion, all of this helps to make this endeavor possible. Because we believe that design has the power to educate, has the power to build community, has the power to spark curiosity and delight, and has the power to find the extra in the ordinary. So, Albuquerque friends, keep your eye out for ephemeral landscapes on the street, or better yet, join our growing tribe. And for those of you in other cities, think about starting your own or joining an existing one. Because in the end, We belong to our cities, and our cities belong to us.